Hello, today I am bringing you a tutorial on how to make cream cheese danishes with a blueberry topping. And I made this a few weeks ago and it turned out pretty well, and I use Claire Saffitz's Dessert Person, her recipe for Kouign-Amann, which are these beautiful pastries. And you can also use the same dough to make these danishes, which I'm going to be making today, because the last time I made both and I thought the danishes were so much better. So these will take about 7 hours to make, which sounds like a very, very long time, and it is, but for laminated dough, this is reasonable. It's not going to take multiple days. So if you're new to doing laminated dough and you don't want to dive right into trying croissants, this is a really great place to start, and I think anyone can do it, especially, well, really only if you have a whole day at home. And most of the 7 hours is just waiting on the dough to be ready for the next step. I'm gonna just get started. So right away, I need to get the yeast into some warm water, and I'm going to heat the water in the microwave instead of on the stovetop. So I will show everything I do. The whole recipe will be in the description box, and I will also put some text below on the screen explaining what I'm doing, and I'll probably talk to you some about what I'm doing throughout the video. And I can't wait to eat these and show you how beautiful and delicious they turn out. Our dough is resting. It still has about 20 minutes, 25 minutes or more. And now we are going to make the butter block, which is my favorite part of making laminated dough, or one of my favorite parts. And I got the very fancy butter for this. So first I'm going to get 2 pieces of parchment paper, and I'm going to weigh out 340 grams of this butter. Now I'm going to place this other piece on top. I have some leftover, which I'm excited to have on some toast or a bagel later. Now the fun part. So you're going to need a ruler. We're going to try to form a 7-inch by 7-inch square with the butter, and it has to be pretty exact, so this will come in handy. At some point, whenever it got close to 7 by 7, I folded the parchment paper around it in exactly 7. It's actually a little bit bigger, but it should be fine. It's about 7.5. Yeah, it's about 7.5 by 7.5. So I'm gonna, yeah, so you fold it around it, and then you can make it into a real perfect square, pressed into all the corners with the rolling pin. It's awesome. I love this part. It just is fun. And I am going to put this in the fridge now, and it will stay cold until we're ready to enclose it in the dough, which you will see. The dough has been in the freezer for about 10 minutes, and now is the really fun part where you fold the butter block into the dough. And I'm gonna do that by first taking this out, flouring the surface of the countertop, and then rolling it into about an 8 by 8 inch square. And since my butter block is a little over 7 inches, I might try to get a 9-inch square. And then I will put it in like a diamond and fold the corners over. You'll see all of this. It makes a lot more sense when you see it. It is all wrapped up in here, and now I'm going to roll it out into a 20-inch long rectangle, and it should be about 7 inches wide. Now I'm going to fold it up like an envelope. So I'm going to fold the bottom up and then the top. And now with it all folded up like this, I'm going to do the whole rolling out process again. Okay, so I just did the first 2 turns, and this is what creates the beautiful layers and pastry that we all love, that we're all looking for. And I cannot tell you how much easier this process was to roll it out and everything. It just was so smooth, so effortless. I didn't have to work up a sweat, and I really think it's because of the butter. That European style butter is just so much softer and flexible and easier to work with than, you know, before I just used the cheapest whatever butter that I use for everything else. So when people say to use European butter for this, it's not just for the flavor, which also really matters. It's for the process, you know, it makes it so much easier. I'm so glad I'm doing it with the good butter. Anyway, so now I put that in the freezer for 10 minutes so it will chill rapidly, and then I'm gonna move it to the fridge and it will rest there for another hour. And then I will see you back. So I'm gonna go do some things around the house. So the dough has been chilling for about an hour. It's nice and solid. And I am now going to roll it out again into a long rectangle. And this time I'll sprinkle some sugar on it before folding it back up. And then I'll fold it up, roll it out yet again, and then sprinkle more sugar on it and fold it up. Now I'm going to wrap it in the same plastic wrap I've been using this whole time and do the same chilling routine. So 10 minutes in the freezer to cool it down really quick, and then move it to the fridge for an hour. It's an exciting time. I feel like I've said that at every step, but every step we're closer to the finish. So now it is time to make the 2 parts of the filling, the cream cheese and the blueberry parts. So for the cream cheese, I just have a room temperature block of cream cheese, and to this I'm going to add the zest of 1 lemon and about a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar and an egg yolk. I forgot to say that you also need to add some vanilla, and as a true clear Saffitz fan, I have some homemade vanilla here that I will be using. Now the blueberry topping is even easier, so I have 1 pound of frozen blueberries. You can use frozen or fresh. And then I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of jam. I'm supposed to have blueberry jam, but I don't, so I'm using raspberry. I hope it's okay. And then I'm also going to add about a tablespoon of lemon juice. The dough has been in the fridge for about an hour, actually a little over than an hour since the last time we touched it. And now it is time for the final rolling out. So I'm gonna roll it out into a 12 by 18 rectangle, and then I'm gonna cut it into 3-inch squares. So I think it'll be a 6 by 4-inch grid. So this is it. So I'm actually going to pipe the cream cheese mixture onto them now that they're all on a pan ready to go. So to do this, I take my piping bag, put it in the cup, and then I will just spoon it in here. So it's here ready to go, and I will show you how I do this. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of filling on each one. Now I'm just going to spoon a little bit of the blueberry filling or topping on each one. The last thing before they go in the oven is they just have to sit at room temperature covered with this saran wrap for about 30 to 40 minutes. It's been about 40 minutes and it is time to put them in. Just for some perspective, I started this around 7 o'clock. I started this around noon today and it is almost 7 o'clock. It's 6:37. So this takes, as I said, about 7 hours. So I'm going to take this saran wrap off, and then I'm going to put them in the oven. It's preheated to 400 degrees, but as soon as I put them in, I'm going to drop it down to 350 degrees, and then they will bake for 20 to 25 minutes, and I'm going to rotate the pans about halfway through. Wow, so they are done. They're beautiful. Some of them are more beautiful than others. Some of them kind of fell apart a little. They are so flaky. I think they're not very sweet, so if you want them sweeter, you could add a simple glaze, but I think they're wonderful. They're a great breakfast or just an anytime treat. Quite a few of them have already disappeared, so I hope you try this, and if you do, please put it in the comments. And yeah, I'm gonna enjoy more of these. Thank you for watching. Bye.